On this episode of Dirt, Grain, and Steel, we're going to see if we can fix a tanker trailer. So, the story of this tanker is it wasn't vented when it was pumped out, and it caused it to cave in. So, we cut the bad section out, and it stinks inside of there. We cut the bad section out. I'll show you what the other side looks like. Yeah, there's a tent in the shop, I know. That's the other side, and that's what that side looked like. So, like I said, it was the liquid fertilizer was pumped out of it without the tank being vented. Should have had the top lid open. So we ended up buying this tank on an auction really cheap. Actually bought it for the tires and axles out from under it, but then we thought, well, maybe we can fix it and we can use it to haul liquid fertilizer for the corn planter. So here we are, trying to see if we can fix it. So if we can't fix it, what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut the end out of it, move it down here, and make it shorter and make like a 3,000 gallon tank out of it. So, but what we have plans of doing is we think we're going to cut this section out, and we're going to bring this front piece back to here, weld the tank back together, and leave it a semi-trailer. So we're going to see what happens. Alex and Dad and I just started on it. Decided to cut a hole in it so we can get inside of it and see what the damages are on the inside, because we really can't fit through the top hole. I'm claustrophobic, so I really don't want to go through that hole. So I figured, why not just cut a big window in it? It's junk anyways. So that's what I did. So here now we can see inside. So we're going to see what happens. So stay tuned. This should be an exciting one. Maybe. Or it'll probably end up packed in a scrap dumpster with a hoe. We'll see what happens. So, but figured we better make a video just in case we do pull this one off flawlessly. It'll be a good one for the steel part of the channel. Since we're going to shorten it, we're going to cut off our trailer cord and our air lines here, and then pull them out the bottom and take them towards the back. That way we have plenty of hose when we go back together. So there's no good way of marking these air lines. So I'm going to cut the blue one straight across, and then the red one, I'm going to slant cut it so that we know which is which. There we go. That one, let's pull it out and do it, I guess. Well, let's slant cut the other one straight across. Now we're going to cut our trailer wire off. Not much room to work in there. Okay. Now we can pull all that out the bottom. And then when we put the trailer back together, we'll be able to pull it back up here, connect everything back up, and we're ready to go again. So try to make life as simple as possible when doing a project like this. So we got one section of our tank cut out. And here we go! Yeah, good job. That's going in the video if you like it or not. Well, anyways, we got one section of our tank cut out. We found one of the baffles in there. They can't help themselves but make noise. So we're going to cut actually 3 ribs out of this. Then we're going to scoot it together and make a little short stubby trailer out of it. So I got this side of the tank cut with the plasma cutter, and this actually popped back straight, which that's what I was hoping was going to happen. Still didn't on this side, but this side's scrapped, so that's no big deal. So now I'm going to go on the inside, and I'm going to cut across the floor on the inside so that I can get, it's double thickness at the bottom. So I'm going to have to cut on the inside, and then I have to cut the bottom on the outside. And then I'll cut up that wall on the other side, and we'll be done cutting with this section, other than the frame after we get the truck back under it. So now we are cut all the way around the bottom, and we still got to cut about a 1.5 foot section at the top, but we're not going to do that until we get the truck under it. So we're about ready to take this piece off. So here's where we're at so far. Got the Kenworth backed underneath the front of the trailer. I'm cut all the way around across the bottom, and now Dad's running out back to get me a 6x6. I'm going to lay across the frame rails and shim up with a 2x4 under that. That way, when I let the trailer back down, it'll sit tight on the frame of the truck, and then I'll be able to make these cuts here and cut my strip across the top that I left for now. But after I cut those, this front section will be free, and we'll be able to take it out, and then we'll lift it off with one of the excavators when we get it out of the shop. So as soon as he gets me that 6x6, we can get her separated. I got the time-lapse camera set up so we can get a time-lapse of it. It'd probably be pretty cool to see. So this project's going pretty easy so far. Kind of excited. Can't wait to get it back together and get it recertified and pressure test it, make sure she's not going to leak, and it'll be a nice nice trailer to have. Be able to plant all day on a load of fertilizer instead of having to make 3 trips to fill little nurse tanks. We'll be able to just feed out of this one all day long, and it'll last over a weekend, which will be nice. So be a good addition to the farm, and it'd be nice to haul water if we ever need doing water suppression on demolition. So this will work out great. All the cuts are made. We should be able to pull the truck up now.
Low power.
Look at that. Just like I planned. Couldn't ask for it to go much better than that, could you? So now we're in the process of stripping our jacks off. We're going to get them all cut off, and then we're going to take this section out, and this will be scrapped. One more piece of the puzzle gone. We're getting shorter. We're getting into some good material now. So now we're going to take the lid section out, and we're going to take the ladder off because we're going to reuse that. And then I think our next section will be our final cut before we can start going back together. So now we got our ladder off, and we're going to work on our second section here, get that cut off, and out the door. So now Alex and I are starting on cutting the frame apart. He's over there cutting this mud flat bracket off, and I cut this chunk of frame rail out. And I'm going to get under here and cut the bottom of this tank all the way around this weld. And this will actually be the weld, or this will be the seam that we bump up against the tank that's hanging on the truck. And in theory, that frame rail that's sticking out will sit up on top of here, and we'll be able to line all this back up and get the tank straight and weld it all together. So we're going to get rid of this section, and then we're going to marry them back together and make a short little tanker. Dad's making the final cut right now, and we'll be able to take this part off. looks good now.
Does inside where it's dull.
Yeah. Don't look too bad outside. Uh-oh. If we can just get that one little crease out yet, right there, I'd say it's livable.
Hard to hit with this wood.
No profanity, please. Oh, there's Wilson. You just can't help yourself. Oh, Wilson's coming to help you.
No. Get in here so I can smack it.
No, don't smack the kitty. Come on, show us some of that dad strength. You know we're going to return that when we're done with it to TSC. Is it slipping?
I broke one off already.
No. It only lasted us like 10 minutes. It's a little ratchety doohickey broke. Yeah, now it is. You just dad strengthened it a little too hard.
Is that the broken one?
Well, let's put something in it to space it a little to get it past the broken one. Oh, much better. Just had to get with the dad strength and just nail it.
I need to hit like a foot behind that board.
Yeah. You know, that's pretty. It went back, but I don't think that's bad at all compared to what it was. Didn't that used to slide really easy?
Yeah. Piece of crap.
Whoops. Please don't make stuff like they used to. Alex likes his new hammer that we got. Now we call him Bam Bam. Huh? So right now I am preparing the end of the tank to weld it back together. I'm grinding all the sharp edges off, all the imperfections out of it from cutting on it with a plasma cutter. And it's a little bit crooked, but it's not my fault. So it's a plasma cutter. The tip was a little bad and it was cocked off to one side, so it made it a hair crooked, but for the most part it's pretty good. We can fill it in. And then Alex and Dad are preparing the frame so that we can get it cleaned up, and we're gonna get it all back welded together. Hopefully we'll have it welded back together this afternoon, or close to it. I'd like to at least get it back to one piece, so we'll see. So now we're ready to put our tank back together, and we came up with this brilliant idea. The C-channel fit in here perfectly, so we're going to kind of use them as alignment dowels to get the tank slid back together and straight for the most part. So I think we're gonna just try to back in here with the old Kenworth and just shove her back together. Maybe use a jack to pick the tank up a little to align it. But I think this might go pretty easy. We'll see. If not, we're gonna have to go get my uncle's loader and the forks, his payloader, his John Deere payloader, and pick it up and bring it back in here, because our payloader, the root rake really doesn't come off of it, and we don't have forks for it. So, well, I mean, the root rake does come off, but we've never taken it off, and we don't have forks, so it's just easier to go grab his when we need it because it's just around the corner. So anyways, we're going to try to stick this tank back together yet tonight and see what happens. So far, this project is going pretty smooth. We got everything straightened out and it all looks good, so project's definitely on track, that's for sure. So we got our tank slid back together. Alex picked up on it with Bobcat, and I drew it back together with a ratcheting come along, and it went together fairly smooth. So now we're just going to take the C-channel out, and then we'll be able to bring it back the rest of the way. And then we're going to try to get this tank welded up so we can move it around so it's not tying the shop up. Well, mainly we got to be able to get the Bobcat out because we need it tomorrow, and there's no way getting it out with the tank in the way. So we're going to have to do something with it tonight. So far, we've got our tank put back together, and we have started to tack it together. We've been taking a pry bar and putting under this chain to pull the sheets back together. So it's going good so far. We're going to get tacked around the other side, and then we're going to weld her up today. So looks pretty good. We had string stretched from one end to the other, and it is straight. And everything's true, so I'm going to call this project a success. So we're going to get her finished up maybe today. Inside and out, so it'll strengthen those spots up. Not really welded a whole lot of stainless, but I noticed that it does make a lot of spatter. I might have to go dip my nozzle, but it's welding really nice, so I'm happy with it. And I've been trying to, everywhere there's a tack, I wish there wasn't so many tacks, but every time I come to a tack I burn into it and go over it and burn out of it and keep going. So trying to make sure there's no leaks.